We thank our next guest for holding through the break, Justin Dunk from 3DownNation. I'm reading Jason's comments on the Facebook wall here. Hey, good afternoon, JD. How are you out there in Eastern Canada?
Doing well, buddy. It's getting nice and warm out here, feeling like spring. What about out there?
We thought it was. I had to hit Sud's car wash on Saturday because of all the melting, and then a blizzard hit in Saskatoon. Were you part of that?
Yeah.
No, you were down here.
Well, I was moving around.
Justin, it doesn't know if winter wants to leave yet or not. Are you saying in Southern Ontario it's gone? Has spring sprung where you are?
I don't want to jinx it, man, but it seems that way.
Okay, good. Well, football's on everybody's minds. And to be honest with you, I mean, you're a guy that works in the CFL news business. Was this not the slowest week in the CFL in like a year this past week, or is it just me?
Well, to be honest, I was enjoying Hawaii, so I was pretty glad that it was slow. So you guys tell me.
Well, actually, this was a family vacation for you. By the way, tell us about Hawaii. Had you surfed before? Because you kind of look like you knew what you were doing.
I had not, but man, my saying, you just got to be an athlete, get out on that board. I was there for a couple of weeks. Let me tell you, it was spectacular. But what I noticed more than anything else, obviously, as you said, being a CFL guy, the team hat that I saw the most in Hawaii was the Saskatchewan Roughriders. NFL, MLB, NHL, NBA. No, it was CFL and the Rider Green. I saw two of them while I was in Hawaii.
And that's why, frankly, we could talk last week about the flagship franchise of the CFL and could Winnipeg be it. They got a long way. Anybody has a long ways to go to beat the Saskatchewan Roughriders. It may never happen, Justin.
It might not. We'll have to see. It's a long way to go, though.
Mm-hmm. So, give me your topics in the CFL right now. What's hot for you right now? I guess the TJ Jones affair. I mean, are we going to have a resolution to this soon?
I don't want to put a timeline on it. It seems like it's still going back and forth between the league and the CFLPA, so that's definitely on the front burner in terms of when TJ Jones is going to sign with the Argos. It's a matter of time, but I will say, as an addendum to that if the ruling comes down that TJ Jones has to slot in under one of those rookie deals, which is slotted now, then maybe he'll think about trying to go back to the NFL and won't come back up to the CFL so soon. So if I were the league or the PA, I'd be rushing to allow him to sign as a free agent. The Argos want to sign him for $200,000. Let him do it so one of our Canadian stars can come back to the CFL.
Hey, Justin, but is he, since he's played in the NFL, is he still considered, or why is he still considered a rookie by CFL standards?
Well, that's under the new CBA, yeah, and it's because he's Canadian. And I actually had done a piece prior to the current CBA coming about that had a group of Canadian free agents that, for whatever reason, were missed going through the Canadian draft, and TJ Jones was one of them. And the league stance at the time was that Jones indeed was a free agent, along with a number of other players. So to me, I'm having trouble understanding why he's not allowed to be a free agent and sign a deal. Like, let's say Jamal Westerman might be the most recent case when he came back from the NFL to sign with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
So just in keeping with the new CBA, maybe I'm not as familiar with it, but it seems like there's already been this rule in past when guys become Canadian all of a sudden or accept their roots. Wayne Smith, Darius Blazek. I'm not sure if Jeremy O'Day fits in that category as well, but they used to have a supplemental draft for guys that didn't get their Canadian credentials in time. What happened with that?
That's right. So they still do have the supplemental draft. Now it's just sort of time stamped that the guys who didn't qualify for the CFL draft in a given year, so let's say 2020, 60 days after the CFL draft have a chance to get into that supplemental draft. So it's still there, but just tweaked a little differently.
But why not just extend that 60 days to indefinitely? That seems like the easy solution. As soon as you find out you're Canadian, well, you're eligible for the Canadian draft, so there you go. Seems like such an easy solution that the CFL is just kind of Mickey Mousing again, being, let's try and sound important here and put our foot in the mouths of our something and shoot ourselves in the foot. It seems like an easy solution. Either he's a rookie, either he's a NFL vet and can sign for whatever he wants, or he's a Canadian and has to go through the CFL draft like you and I did. Nice jersey behind you, by
I
the
agree.
way.
And one perfect example of that, and Roddy mentioned his name earlier, was Dariusz Bladek. He literally had to sit out an entire season because he just missed the cutoff. We want these guys, especially the Canadians, as you're getting at, Abu, to get in the league as soon as possible. So I'm with you. Extend it, make it indefinite. When the guy qualifies, then you have a supplemental draft.
And then if teams don't there's lots of Canadians that don't get drafted because they're just too good. The D lineman that went to the University of Manitoba, he did get drafted later, but guys go through the draft because they don't think that they're or don't get drafted because they think they're going to be that good in the NFL. But at least then you're time stamped. You're Canadian. You're going through the draft. You didn't get drafted. You're a free agent.
David, on your matters, what you're talking about.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, Justin. But what about my thought that they could just grant exceptional player status and just a one-off and get them playing? I mean, do you know what's going back between the players' associations and the league right now, or what the holdup is?
I have a little bit of an idea of what's going on. There's some veteran players on the PA that don't necessarily want a, quote, CFL rookie, even though Jones was deemed a free agent by the league, to come in and be able to make $200,000 right away, because those veterans have had to come through as Americans and earn the minimum salary and work their way up in terms of CFL standing and earn the money that they're earning now. So that's sort of the pause on the PA side. And the league, to be honest, has a bit of a reputation around personnel men in circles there. When you talk to them off the record, they kind of make it up as they go along. So the fact that this hasn't been expedited is very interesting from the league's perspective.
How do you feel about the fact there's no Marks CFL week, by the way? Because the commissioner was just through here and said, the CBA last year we couldn't do it, and we've got too much going on this year to do it, which is probably true, but I've seen you at the two that they've held, and they were awesome. I mean, I think they're really missing the boat here.
I agree, Roddy. And there's sort of going to be a pseudo CFL week going on in Toronto around the combine. They're still going to have the players, or some of the big name guys, I should say, they're flying to Toronto and do the media car wash, so to speak, do all the stuff they need to do for TSN to get all their bumpers, stings, teases, and promos ready. But it's not going to be dubbed CFL week like it was the last few years. I really do think that now with CBA and labor peace, at least for the next few years, that we could see that event come back in the future.
Last one for you. It's coming up a lot out here because this is the CFL hotbed. They're asking where Derel Walker is going to go. What's the holdup? What do you know about his status?
The latest that I've heard on Derel Walker is that he might wait it out to what some teams are calling, quote, the finish line, and just go the full distance to see what money might be available after training camp cuts. Because to be quite honest, it sounded like the BC Lions were all hot and bothered to sign him, but then decided to go a different way. Signed Dominique Rhymes, who you just had on the show today, and Caleb Hawley to sort of take up that fifth receiver spot in BC, because they're going to play three Canadians along with Brian Burnham. So that does make sense that they went a little cheaper there, because you already have a bunch of main targets. So I did hear that the Bombers were recruiting him, trying to get him to take a lesser deal than maybe he had in Toronto last year when he made $280,000 with the Argos, which was a one-off in and of itself. So could be more of the waiting game here for Walker and around training camp time, if he even does sign with the team. Anything else, brother? The one note I'll get out there real quick, just because it's coming to that time of the year with pro days and Canadian prospects. Marc-Antoine Dequoy, a University of Montreal defensive back, blazed a 40 today, 4.35 seconds at his pro day. The Philadelphia Eagles were there. Chicago Bears as well, checked in at over 6'2" and almost 200 pounds. That guy, I feel like just on that 40 time alone, is going to get a buzz going in the NFL. All right. What are the top stories at 3DownNation.com as we speak? Oh, buddy, Roddy, you're just rolling it up. At 3DownNation.com right now, we have the top 10 highest paid true free agents. So guys that actually switch teams during the free agency period. And we're going to have Rouge Week going all week after Ambrosi said that the rule could be looked at and might be tweaked going forward. So that's the latest. All right, JD. Good seeing you, brother. Welcome home. Thanks, Roddy. Good to be on with you, boys. Be well. Justin Dunk joining us from Southern Ontario from 3DownNation.com, the CFL's preeminent source for information.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.